morning and welcome to our spiritual practice for Lent 2021 using the book Release and Renew. I am Richard Pacheco and I am from Unity of Northeast Pennsylvania, Positive Path to Spiritual Living. And I hope you've been joining us every day because one of the things, if you haven't realized yet, is that one day we talk about releasing and one day we talk about renewing, which is, of course, what the book is about, release and renew. And I wanted to stress that because today and tomorrow are going to be two of the biggest days, I believe, in this practice because of the fact that we're going to be talking about bitterness and forgiveness. And if any one of us, and I'm sure we all have experienced this in our lives, is people who have stopped talking to us or have left our lives. And I know we use the excuse of, everything's in a season, and it's true. There are some things that cycle out and things like that. And even in ourselves, we have a bitterness toward those same people. And we hold on to that and we feel justified because um, how do I say, we look at things from a perspective of ourselves. And if we have not worked on the programming in our subconscious, our self or our temporary self, our ego, continues to tell us that we are right. And a lot of us fight for protecting that need to be right. It took me a long time to finally let that go and know that my job is to tell you what has worked for me and allowed you to see it in action and say, well, maybe that works for me, or at least, hey, that's a great direction he's taken. Let me take that path so I can find my journey on the way. And that's what's important about these practices. So again, our affirmation for today is I release old feelings of bitterness. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the reading. So one of the primary unity teaching is that our thoughts create our lives. So if we are holding unloving and hostile thoughts about anyone or any group, these thoughts will show up in our experience. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Our thoughts are things we produce, we express out through the thoughts that we have. So if our thoughts are coming from a place of anger and bitterness, what do you think we're going to see in the world? We are the first recipients of our thoughts and words, loving or unloving. Unkind thoughts can fester in our minds, and bitterness can destroy our lives from inside. The word resentment means to feel pain over and over again. That is why the saying is so true. Holding on to resentment is like taking poison expecting the other person to die. How many times have you heard me use that quote? We cannot escape our judgment. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, "Do not judge so that you may not be judged." And again, that's from Matthew 7:1. That statement has remained with us through 2 millennia because the simple truth is set us free to express a joyful life. Today, we can release the ingrained feeling of hostility and embrace a life filled with happiness, peace, and prosperity. Today, we can make a choice, a decision to release all grudges and resentment, to put down the poison and love extravagantly. Matthew 18:18, truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth, you will bind in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. So again, when it comes to things like this, our thoughts are our things. And it's the reason we do affirmations, the reasons we do denials, the reason we do meditation is to help to reprogram that subconscious mind. I'm constantly asked, and I know it's a little off topic, why certain, and you can pick any historical figure in history that created atrocities, and how can you say that it started with good intentions? And it's like, well, if you go back into history, you will see that there was some dilemma or some problem they were trying to solve. The problem is the filter that they used was their temporal mind or their ego mind, which was programmed maybe from birth, maybe from something that happened in their lives. There'd be some bitterness that they're holding on. And you think of, if I took a coffee filter and filled the bottom of it with a thick, we'll say food coloring, and then poured water through it, what color would the water be on the other side? It would be greenish. So it's the same, it's the same principle. If I put green dye, put blue dye, whatever color dye I put into, or food coloring I put into that filter, when I pour very clear water through it, what do you think happens? Comes out to represent that color. And it's the same thing with our subconscious. When we are constantly programmed by what's going on around us, and it could be old family beliefs, it could be old teachers with old ideas, it could be things that maybe in their time might have worked or maybe not have worked, or just beliefs. And usually some of those beliefs come from a place of fear. So it's up to us, because I can't fix the past, nor can I predict what's going to happen in the future. I can tell you what's going to happen now, and I can fix only one person in my life, and that's me. And it's the same with you. So today, let's begin to look at the bitterness that we hold, the resentment that we hold toward others. And let's begin to release that feeling. So let's start with, again, our breathing. Just breathing in, hold, release, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Nice deep breath in. And as you release, just sink deeper into your chair. And let us work one at a time. Let's just close our eyes and let's picture someone in our lives at this moment, someone you may hold resentment to. And maybe it's not just a person, maybe it's a group. Maybe it's a group out there that have beliefs that are against your own, that you hold bitterness to. Maybe it's just a situation that you're holding anger against that didn't go your way. Let's bring that into our minds right now. And if you're looking and feeling it and you truly have resentment, you might feel your energy drop a little bit. That's okay. We're going to work on that. You may feel your heart start to palpitate a little bit because emotions are rising. And that's okay. We're alive. We are meant to feel these emotions. What we don't want to do is run from them or hide from them. We want to go through them. And as you see them, let's look at them. And let's see them surrounded in light. And maybe the light for you may be a little dark or dirty at this moment. I like to see it in a globe of white light. And if I have some issues, the white light, that glow, might be a little bit dirty. So let's begin with our mantra. I release old feelings of bitterness. And continue to look in the picture of your mind. I released old feelings of bitterness. One more time. I release old feelings of bitterness. And just see the dirt washing away. Begin to see that light brighten up and just truly become bright in our minds. And begin to feel love being sent from your heart to those people. Because we've released ourselves from that bind of bitterness. We've released ourselves from that bind of anger. And we begin to see them in God's light. And we're grateful for that. We feel that feeling of gratefulness just washing over us. And just feel that love and joy washing over us as we feel the weight just lifted from us. And let us just affirm that we know it's already done because we say it is, and so it is, and we let it be. And we affirm it with an ashe, amen, and so it is. You can open your eyes and be grateful for today, as tomorrow we will work on the renewing the inner peace for forgiveness by forgiving. So we'll take this exercise to the next step. With that being said, as always, I love you. Nothing you can do about it. And I want to bid you namaste, and I will see everybody tomorrow.